Today's video is all about taking one step forward and 3 steps backwards. Stay tuned, we got a lot to dive into. So if you watched my last video where we went drag racing with Clark and took home the win in 630, by the way, VRS 4150 by Edelbrock's first race win, I believe, but neither here nor there. We're not talking about that. We're talking about dumpster fires. And that's what I mentioned in Casper here. So I haven't put out a video in forever until yesterday. And the reason for that is, man, I've been working on Casper non-stop. Whenever I did the last video talking about the interior, drive shaft angles, so on and so forth, I've been busy with old Casper here. The interior is looking really good. Check these pictures out. I mean, I'm really happy with how it's turned out. Going to put like a Lakewood style roll bar in there to be kind of period correct once it's all said and done. Nitrous bottle layout, fire extinguisher, the B&B classic seats, the bucket seats, man, just set it off. I actually made custom brackets out of angle aluminum for lightweight, because old Casper needs to lose as much weight as he can, and so do I, but that's, yeah. So let's talk about what's going on. We got the transmission in here. Let's start with the drive shaft. Josh up at Carolina Powertrain in Hickory got me fixed up on converting my drive shaft from a slip joint shaft to this right here. I don't know what you'd call, that's a slip yoke, but my old drive shaft was the yoke, or the slip was in the drive shaft, if that makes sense. About like a heavy truck. So we got the drive shaft in there, the angles, they're working, you know, they'll get us where we need to be. And put the transmission in, get ready to fire it up, putting fluid in it. We're excited. Me and Mike is here at about 9-10 o'clock at night. Everything's good. We put a pressure gauge right here. This is the pressure test port on an E4OD E4R100. And you know the deal with the CASPER-MATIC. I mean, John Cope spent a lot of time with his valve body, but let's get into the but. As soon as we fired it up, John wanted me to check transmission line pressure. He wanted to make sure that this thing was good to go. So check it, and it was around 210, 220. Insert video and you'll see it. Okay, a little bit low because I think John was wanting about 250-ish if we could get there. Nah, we're in the ballpark. First problem we have is the trans brake is not working. And when the trans brake doesn't work, you don't have reverse. So at this point, we're confused as to whether the trans brake solenoid's acting up. John told me, he said, drive it up the road and see if it has high gear, because it uses the same clutch pack for high and reverse. He wanted to make sure we had high gear. So it's pouring down rain, and that's the other part about what's been going on here in North Carolina is it's been raining for like, it seems like a month straight. Every time we go to work on this thing, it's pouring down rain. Drive it up the road, all 4 gears. Feels really good. In fact, it's the best feeling Ford transmission I've ever felt. Hands down. I mean, on point. we still don't have reverse. So we do a little bit more communicating with John, and then the next day come in, we fiddle around with it, and basically what happened was the solenoid wire on the solenoid pack had come loose, and that's neither here nor there because this thing's been sitting in Micah's shop for, you know, a year. So I don't know what happened. It could have happened back on the trip back from Indiana to here, because I'm telling you, those roads up north, they suck. I mean, you hit a bump, it'll make you shift lanes. But I soldered the wires up, fixed that, got reverse, we got trans brake action, but we put the pressure gauge back on it just to see how things were going. Well, let me rewind. Oh yeah, let me rewind, because when we dropped the pan, we noticed that there was some debris in the bottom of the pan, and that was a red flag. Didn't know what was going on. We figured it was converter slack, you know, trash in the converter coming out. Cope said if it does it again, we'll go further. And well, anyways, we put a pressure gauge on it after we got the trans brake fixed, and this is what the pressure reading said after that. So as you can see, we're not headed in the right direction at all. I mean, we went from like 210, 220-ish down to 150, 160, and we didn't do anything different. That's basically just how it happened. Well, pull it outside, park it. We're gonna come back the next day and work on it. I come back, try to pull it in the shop, and the thing wouldn't even move. I mean, it didn't have any gears whatsoever, and it sounded like either the pump or the converter was just raising Cain, and I really believe it was probably the converter, because there's not much fluid in that converter when we took it out. Let's go take a look at that. You look down in there, that thing should be down to the covering up the stator with fluid, and it is not. I mean, there is no fluid hardly in there, and what fluid's in there is black. My man just showed up just for the grand finale here. So what about that crazy ass drag race that we went to?
Man, that is the weirdest race I've ever been to, and I've been to a lot of tracks and a lot of drag races, man. It's crazy.
I bet you combined, we've probably been racing nearly 50 years, maybe more.
Yes.
And that was crazy, but yeah, go back and watch that video. It was really worth it. So he showed up just in time for us to bust this pump apart. Now, according to Cope says that he believes it's converter metal, and that if the pump is clear, there's no metal debris in here, then it's the converter. If there's debris here, we got problems. So I'm gonna set the camera up, and then we're gonna bust this thing apart. All right, for those of you who don't know, most people have a hole in the table. We're using a 10R80 trash can. If you don't know what that is, look it up.
You probably need one.
You probably need one. You just don't know it yet. Man, I hope this thing's clear. I guess a converter can cause that problem. I don't know. It's getting above my pay grade, buddy. Okay. Easy does it. Well, there's some debris in here, but I don't really... Pump gear looks good. That's moving free. Okay. It's not good. Oil's keeping it sucked down to it. Well, this is the point where I'm getting ready to call Mr. Cope. We're gonna cut this off, and I'm gonna try to video call him and see what's what. Okay, so just got off the phone with John Cope, and our suspicions was right. Look at how clean this is. There is no debris in this pump, and this is just the way we took it apart. Okay, this is just the other half of what you've seen before. This is stator side here. So with that being said, got in contact with John Cope. Cope saying it's converter. Talked to Shane Polito. He's saying converter, so this right here is probably the problem. The issue is we got aluminum inside here, and I just don't know how bad throughout the transmission. The one thing that I do know is, from years past, anytime you got aluminum or any kind of metal in a transmission, don't try to keep running it, because what's going to happen is if I get the converter fixed, okay, get transmission cooler flushed out, new one, everything's good, and then put that new converter in there, guess what? Whatever's inside there is going to go right into the converter and right into the cooler, and then good chance you're going to be doing it again. So the lesson of this is, it may be expensive. You might not want to do it, but anytime you see metal, clear it out. So this wraps this up. I've got to get old Casper off here and get it back out in its hole. And
assume the position, Casper.
Yeah, assume the position. You know where it's at. But yeah, the saga continues. John Cope, thank you for taking my calls all the time. We're going to get this thing right. But let me tell you, the price of being different is a costly one, because you got to go through these learning curves.
Growing pains.
It's growing pains, because no one else has one of these right here. No one else besides Tim Jacobson and a few other people. So until we get all this sorted out, there's going to be minor issues. Like I said, I know when we sit in here and we hit the trans brake and I drove it up the road, I've never had a Ford transmission shift that good. So if we just get everything working like it should, we should be good to go. We got to get that line pressure up. So At this point, I'm just rambling on because I ain't got nothing else to talk about other than that race last night, and you don't want me talking about that. So until next time, this is Andy from Unity Motorsports Garage.
Micah from Gas and Automotive.
We will catch you later. Stay tuned for part 20, 30, 40.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, catch y'all later.